Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
So are we set on this sequence? Any questions for this sequence? So in summary, you should start with a hook. You should start with 3 info nuggets, and we'll talk about the story. There is a little element you can put in the middle, which we'll talk about in advanced levels, okay? After the 3 information, what you should have. So I came up with my hook. I put my info nuggets 1, a story, info nuggets 2, a story, info nuggets 3, a story. What's next?
To get to the point, the message.
So the message will be the title. So you should be able in 7.6 to craft a title of your presentation or your talk. So what is the title?
It's a statement that give the audience.
No, what title you can use? Can you just?
Oh no, about anything. I don't know. Depends on again what kind of presentation. I'm still speaking in generic way.
Okay, okay. Somebody has a specific title to discuss?
How to lose weight. Would be
I have one that
how to exercise.
stress is bad for business.
Is this a title or a proposition or a statement? So why you told me the title?
And that's what my current presentation is.
Why you told me it's title? It's not title.
Because I use
Will someone go to a presentation titled "Stress is bad for business"? So how we can make it title?
Out of that?
Yeah. Remember, we come from a culture which we say the book content has no relationship with the book cover. The title of the presentation has no relationship with what the presentation content. So what is a good title? Generally, what people would like to know.
You have an idea to expect, to give them to what they are going to expect from the remaining of the presentation.
This is the title of the presentation.
Yeah, this is your question.
Yeah. So what people will like? What people would like to know usually?
So like 3-step process too.
Yeah.
That work?
We can discuss it. Like I have a solution. I can just. But I don't like to frame people in my solutions. I like to stimulate discussions, get your feedback, get your input, get other people's input, and then, because this is your program. At the end of the day, if you don't feel confident, if you don't feel comfort, you cannot deliver it from the heart. So
build
3
on-
steps. What? Sorry.
Build on that.
3 steps. What?
That's about all I had.
3 steps to overcome stress and double your income.
So
So you can
I've
spend
done
more
it.
time with your loved ones.
yeah.
You can spend more time. I love
Yeah,
that.
yes. So we will talk about this because this is a very important thing in the logic of the whole topic. So we will talk about that.
Well, I was thinking like 3 steps of decreasing stress and increasing business income. But for most people, they're not making the relationship between stress and business income.
I love it. I love it.
And so by putting both of them in there, I'm thinking people are either focusing on I got too much stress or they're focusing on I have a business. It's almost like they're not sure what to focus on in the title. Like, is it speaking to me or
I
is it
love it.
speaking to someone else?
I love it. I love what you say. I use a concept which I developed as well. It's not my ego, just I apply my computer science degrees, my PhDs in design. I find it very interesting, you know what? I use the I concept. This number is what in Greek? You know, this is a Greek. There is a Greek. So this,
100?
no, this number is
Oh,
what?
1.
One.
Okay, and this also stands for Ignorant.
Oh,
That's right. So you have to deal with your clients, with me as ignorant, because I don't know you. Like first time we talked, right? First time you say I'm so and so. Oh, thank you. I don't know. I don't know what you do. Even if I do know a little bit of what you do, I don't know how wonderful you are, and I don't know all your stories. So you have to deal with me as ignorant. So ignorant has 3 rules. They need to have one thing at a time.
yeah. Simple.
One thing at a time. So if you come, which I like in your discussion, if you come with a title and say business and distress, people will not know. So I would go to a presentation to say the challenges business are facing. Discover the barriers of the business over a presentation which say your business is failing because you miss so and so, or the 3 steps of it.
Well, it seems like the stress part, that's the solution, is when they're in the presentation, they discover that by reducing their stress, business will become better. Their
So-
biggest key thing is the fact that they need to improve their business.
So the question will be is what is the attractive title to get these people in?
Also set their expectations so they don't think they're coming to how to reduce your taxes. You know what I'm saying? That the title has to not.
So I'm coming back to this stress and business. We are around stress and business. So there is an issue with the 3 steps. I can just articulate it right now. What is the outcome of this presentation? What's the next step? For them to sign up into.
Well, you have to ask him, it's his presentation.
So what is the next step? What's the next step of the presentation?
I mean, what I want.
After the presentation, what do you need to have?
Oh, I want to put them in my 21-day program.
Okay, so if you show them the solution here in the title, will they come to buy from you more solutions?
Well, I'm not showing them the solution.
But you talk about 3 steps to overcome it, right?
Right, but I'm just thinking
What
that
about
that
a
addresses
system?
time and then addresses process, because it's simple, it's quick, it's not gonna take me long, and there's a process involved.
But this is the title goes back to what people wants to learn,
I get that. Let me
and
ask-
people wants to learn about challenges and barriers.
What about just a system?
They don't want to learn about the system because they don't need it. Have you ever went with your girlfriends? Have you ever? Let me share with you a very interesting story because this will show you exactly the rationale between what I'm talking about. Have you ever went with your girlfriends around to the bar or to the club and you sat there and whine about the problems and talk about what the barriers and the problems and people are like whining about it and crying on it
A lot more time doing that.
and whispering about
No,
it?
not
Have,
women, but
this
people.
usually happens, right? In the
Yeah, I don't have friends like that, but I know what you're talking about.
you know what?
Okay.
So in the community, we always like to talk about what?
Barriers.
Barriers and the challenges. We don't like to talk about solutions. That's right. People don't like to talk about solutions. As a matter of fact, if I show you a solution, you will feel more comfort where you are. You say, I don't want your solutions. People get together to talk about their challenges, not to solve their challenges. People get together to talk about their barriers, not to jump on the barrier.
So are the barriers the same as pain points then?
The challenges and the barriers are the pain points. So that's why
You said that.
majority of the professional presentations, if I said that, you will never remember it. The way I'm trying to craft these particular interactions is to create a memorable moment. That's when you walk away 2, 3, 4 years ago. I used the same technique back 2001, and I met somebody. I didn't know her. She said, I know you. This was like 2 weeks or a month ago. I remember you. You were on the stage at University of Calgary in 2001. And you said 1, 2, 3. I don't know you. She said, yeah, but I do know you. Can you explain to me? And the discussion was very like, can you impact somebody's life to remember something 16 years later? I wasn't important at this time, I believe. Like first year professor, it wasn't important. But, so that's why some part of getting in these workshops is to make you uncomfort, trying to get you out of comfort zone and try to contribute and create dialogue. So always remember. So people will remember barriers and the challenges. People will not remember solutions. That's why majority of the presentations will be the top 5 challenges, the top 3 challenges. Why business will fail. People will never come to buy on a solution because solution is a pleasure. That's right. Barrier is a pain. People will buy for pleasure or for pain.
People tend to make decisions and buy to get away from pain rather than to get towards pleasure.
Amazing. Amazing. I love it. So the statistics demonstrate that 90% of people will buy based on pain. And movie theaters are selling pain-based service. You go to the movie, watch in IMAX studio, and you are trying to overcome a pain of a venue to find a birthday party for your kids, or to spend time with your kids, or to spend a social time. They are not giving you, they will not tell you because you'll come, you'll watch the movie in the best movie theater ever. Just watch out for that. Look at Landmark and the other Cineplex. Look at their slogan and what they do. They never said we are the best theater in country. You will have amazing experience. What they always say. You want to spend the weekend? You want to spend the afternoon? You don't know what to do? Come, we have a promotion. That's right.
Yeah.
So big marketer will market on the pain. Even high-end cars. There are some advertising for Lamborghini, and Lamborghini will say, not pleasure, we'll talk about pain. Because your friend will see you, will look at you down because you have the old model, so come buy the new one. So if you can twist your title toward pain, this is what will get more people to engage with your, would like to know more. So in the models we use, we always talk about the 5 challenges. Some people came and tried to invent and say the 5 keys. So we found out that 5 challenges will get more on a webinar setting than 5 keys. So when you talk about the title, you came up from the title to what? Through the info nuggets. In the info nuggets you were what? You were the expert. Now you are trying to frame it into the challenges and to show what the impact of these challenges personally on the client. When the impact of these challenges on the client, what will happen to the client? The clients will need a solution. Where is the solution in your challenges? Inside your testimonials. Because I didn't tell you that you need testimonials, okay? And from testimonials, you come and give them the offer. So I can repeat again, okay? We come up from the previous part on expert as info nuggets. So I'm coming on the info nuggets. I want to frame the challenges. So my title must be challenges, must have the word barrier, must have, not must have, but must have, okay? Not must have, but must have. Highly recommended to have the word barriers, challenges, obstacles, if you can pronounce it correctly. So people will now understand I'm coming now to learn from you the 5 barriers. What are the 5 barriers?
So is that like the title, the reframing is the title?
No, the title, how the title is functioning from the reframing.
Okay.
So the title is the barrier. So when I pick up a title, I pick up a title on 5 barriers or 5 challenges. So when I talk about the 5 challenges, I am saying what are the problems.
Okay.
And through my talk, I will show how the barriers will be impacting personally you. And from you, I can show you the solution, and you end up having my offer.
So how that one there, the neutral line again, how I can help you, that's where you said the testimonials also fit in.
I will come in detail. It was just I'm trying to give you
I know, but I
correlation.
just get it in the right place.
Okay, so right now we're on the title. Everything is coming. So right now in the title. So the best title will be what? A pain point title. You are here to learn the 3 challenges of what we call it. Stress is bad for business. So I'm here to show you the 3 challenges of successful business.
So that's what I was saying is that if that's the title I market things with.
Stress will be one of the challenges.
No, I get that. But I don't want people showing up trying to having in their mindset that I'm going to talk about, you know, financial things and, you know, tax.
You're trying to get them as neutral. The model said, I'm trying to get people as neutral as they can.
Oh, I see, okay.
Because you don't want to have assumption of your clients.
So they would be, okay, so they'd be coming in with different assumptions, so they know whether I'm going to be talking about stress and all that.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you talk about the 5 challenges to success for business success in 2012 or 2018, this will be a title where people will come to you for.
But if he started talking about stress, and I thought I was wouldn't
That's
that upset your
wondering, yeah.
audience?
Why? The audience wants to come on the challenge, and remember
Maybe
the.
I'm a process person, and I thought
And
that
he-
meant
And he has to show how he can manipulate the stress. What's the process to manipulate the stress?
Or why your business is failing on the bottom line cash because of stress. If I make that connection, if I'm successful, then you might walk away satisfied.
You have to understand that you should not judge your clients, and you try to get your clients not to judge you. Judge meaning making a classification. Maybe judge is not the right word, but it's the right word too, okay? So when I say judging, making a classification. So you don't sit and say, I would like to have the client who is a purple, green eyes, red hair. It does not work like that. I want to have a client who has a pain. What is the client pain? Cannot proceed in their business. There is a strategic planning techniques. There are stress techniques. At the end of the day, which one of those the client will need? And maybe there is a consulting coaching on the end of the table. Maybe there is a life, actually, around this table, there are at least 6 business coaches. Okay? Each one of them has a very unique offer. At least 4 of them, because I know what they offer. So there is a lifestyle balance, which is done for family-owned business. There is one for entrepreneurs on how to clear your mind. There is a strategic planning here on medium size, more than just one solopreneur work. Is this right, sir? So, and there is a small business owner service which helps them with that. So each one of them must have me only. But when I stand and explain, I am here to offer the service and to make reframing of what's your pain to my service. If it resonates with you, you will sign up. If it does not resonate, what will happen? That's right. Now, if you want to go only to like specific tribes, like say like I would like maybe also only go to fitness people or speed skating only. It's great. You take the same presentation and they give it to an audience in speed skating through their association. When I want to talk to only project management, I went to PMI. I was invited in PMI, I presented PMI. Because I want to get the sector in PMI. My presentation was the same as the one done for CMC. No difference. So when you pick up your title, you want to talk about the top 5 challenges, or the top 3 challenges if you have 20 minutes, or the barriers. I did with one of my clients, she's a strategist for social media, and she was always selling the webinar as the 5 keys. And when she just, after like 3 months, she agreed to try 6 times. Anything you want to try, you have to give it 6 times, 6 weeks or 6 times, 6 trials, to make sure you have a good information to judge. When she went out for 3-4 weeks on the 5 challenges, she started to get more people in.
Is that because key is a solution?
For me, I didn't understand. You were part of this discussion, of this group at the time. I didn't know what's key.
I knew the start of it.
You know, so key is a solution. Do people want to know solutions? I know you think about it because yeah, people need solutions. People need solutions. What they want to listen to is what? They want to sit together and whine and complain. Okay? I'm not a sorrow guy, but this is the reality. So that's why we recommend for the title to talk about the challenges. And when you talk about the challenges, this will give you a nice platform to talk every single thing you do in your career to overcome what? These challenges. Okay? Does it make sense? In section 7.7, it's one line because you should write your name there.
That's the easy part.
This is the easy part, okay?
Even Shamir.
Even my name is easy. That's not why I can't do that.
Okay? And then, remember the model. Now you have to tell us why you are the best one to speak on this title. So I come and say, I'm Wael Badawi. I built 7 businesses in Canada, 22 business. I sold business to Enbridge and energy companies. And I start from $3,000 to $40 million plus sale in 7 years. I was there, I did it, and now I'm giving you advices. I will, do you like this statement? Or you like the statement that I am Wael Badawi, I have 2 PhDs in computer engineering, an MBA, and 3 master degrees, and I have 6 diplomas in law, and I used to be a professor. Which one do you like?
Well, the first one, for sure.
Okay? By the way, both of them are relevant to me. But whenever I talk, I don't even have doctor in front of my name, although they call me professors. But I don't have this. I have PhD, I don't have a PNG, I'm a PNG. I don't have CMC, I'm a Canadian management consultant as well. I don't have CAPS, because this will create a distance between me and who? The tribes I would like to serve. That's right. It does not diminish my values. I'm very confident, as you see me. I don't have an ego, I don't care. But what I care about is to make sure everybody around the table connect with me. Everybody can see something they can apply right away. They walk away happy and say, yeah, this guy impacted our life. He gave us information. He warned us from doing wrong things. We did not do it, and we were successful. This is all what I care about. So in 7.2.8, you must articulate why you are the best one to come from the information to the challenges, and why it's you and you only. Okay? In our business as life coaches, and Reiki masters and this stuff, which is for people in the business that say, does people pay money for that? Yeah, people pay more money for that than business, by the way. The market of this wall stuff, like stones, if you go to these stones trade shows, you'll be so shocked how much people will spend on stones. And we had here a good guy who will talk about crystal ball. Like, she rejected us. Can you tell them the story?
Yeah, so I was giving away like a $40 special trade show special for a half an hour coaching session, heart mind line coaching session. Yeah, they wouldn't buy, and I'm giving this away, and it like lines you up and all that stuff, and they knew the theory. But the same people would go over to a crystal bowl area, this little sound bowl, spend $5,000 US on a crystal bowl, and one person I know could not afford much. She drove all the way from Manitoba to Montana, barely squeaking by with all the fun she had. She ended up buying like a huge crystal bowl for like 10,000 US. It was like mind-boggling, and I told Wael, I said, she could have paid me $40. I could have straightened her out right there, but and I couldn't understand. And then he showed me the quadrants where people buy for what figures, and obviously hers was not money. And I didn't know the distinction until. So people have money.
People don't have money. People have access to money. And the only people who don't have money, if I say I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money 3 times. Any objection ever, if it's repeated in the same verbiage or the same pattern 3 times or more, it means what? It means I'm on a social welfare. It means it's real. If I say, oh, I don't have time, so what about this time? Oh, I will think about it, but you know what? I'm going with my friends. So what about this priority? But if I say, oh, I don't have time, seriously, I don't have time. I have the year-end report or board report or whatever. I don't have time. It means what? I don't have time. So when you go around, your job is not to sell. Your job is to sort, to figure out, you sort around people who is ready to buy now and who is ready to buy in the future. That's it. If you understand and change your mindset to this, you will give value, and you will not care. Because whoever I need your service I can buy right now, whoever doesn't need, what will do? Doesn't matter. He will come later and buy before infinity. And you didn't define on infinity, okay? So you must articulate your personal story. So people in areas or presenter or coaches in areas which is life related, their personal story matters. A grieving counselor or a cancer support individual must have a cancer survivor story. Not on herself, God bless everybody, I'm not saying, maybe on somebody else. So people nowadays, with our good friend and my cousin Google, they can find all the information they need. So where people need us is only 10%, where our personal experience matters. I had a good discussion with my friend here. I said, why you don't hire more people? He said, what did you say? The young generation don't have the same quality of service because his fingerprint matters. Him personally matters. It's not him as ego, as I want to do it my way or the highway. No, it matters. So people only buy from personal experience. And this is why they pay us lots of money. Because if you need to understand change management concept, what you do? Google it, man. If you don't like Google, Bing it. If you don't like Bing it, Yahoo it. These are the main three engines. That's right, Bing, Google, and Yahoo. So nowadays in our industry in 2012, 2014 and forward, people don't care about the knowledge. People care about the experience and your personal touch to what you do. I hang around with you because of you. You are the brand which I hang around with. So you need to understand that you have to spell out this when you talk. Your personal story has to come of a personal experience. And sometimes people will come and say, oh, but we didn't have this experience. We just learned it, we practice. Great. You say, I supported 550 companies going from 2 million to 20 million in 1 year using this technology. And now I'm the best guy to talk to you about. Does it make sense? And we will come in a personal story. This is a module on personal story. Does it make sense? So after the title and who you are, you should start with something and say, today we will learn, and you should articulate 3 of the learning. This is what classically we call it what? Agenda. So where the agenda will come? Not at the very beginning. Where's the title of the presentation we talk about? Not in the very beginning. Because people will not care about who they listen to till they see there is a value. You are the expert there. Okay, and that's exactly why whenever I stand in front of any professional presentation and I see people will start with title and speak about themselves, I enjoy 5-10 minutes and then I stand up and go spend more time on my social media or do something else. And I was in a situation where people, the organizer would come to me because I was invited as a guest, and they said, okay, why you are not? I said, they are not experienced. Because people don't care about what they did. Now if somebody would say, I am the one who did 1, 2, 3, I know the market and I did 1, 2, 3, and I can help people like you, what you will say? What's your name? That's right? Mm-hmm. Is this a logical feelings coming out? I want to know more. So you should, here in the learning, you should itemize the learning. And the learning, we as experts know that is what, why, and the 5 challenges. That's it. So any topic whatsoever, it can be put in this way. Or the 3 challenges for the sake of the time. Does this make sense?
So, example of what? And example of why?
What's the title of your presentation?
Well, now I've changed it. I don't know anymore. It's like an essay now. No, it's 5 barriers to grow your business.
Okay. So what does it mean growing your business? What does it mean?
That's the what. Okay.
That is the what.
Yeah.
And why do you need to grow your business rapidly and aggressively? These are examples. They're just on my feet. Okay, don't pick up on my feet. Okay,
I'm holding you to it.
And it's the 3 challenges facing business owners to grow their
Because
business.
That part is the what and the why.
Okay.
So do you reiterate your title?
No, it's not my title. My title is
Hang on.
done. My
Today
title.
we will learn.
This is the agenda. So these are the 3 items we will learn. In
Yeah.
adult learning, you must articulate the agenda twice. At the very beginning and at the very end.
Yeah, but the way your booklet shows it, today we will learn about broad.
No,
broad
and
scope, and our agenda is 1, 2,
Yeah.
and 3.
Yeah.
So what goes in the top part?
If you wanna have a little bit about what they are learning, so he will talk about strategies for successful business.
Which was his tagline under the title.
You can, yeah.
Well, I haven't put a tagline, but you're right.
Yeah, you can.
Basically, it's what, like, I think the first one is what is, the 5 barriers to growing your business. I think does growing your business mean? Because then it would take people like, people who come in who is expecting some tax kind of strategies. I would kind of align them to put them on the same page. What does it mean by growing your business? It means doubling your income or improving your relationships with your staff and fellow people and all that stuff. So it would be like working towards reframing it. That's what. Why would talk kind of lead on to the pain
Why
points.
you're supposed to create urgency,
Yeah.
and people will make a personal connection
Okay.
that they need this. If I am coming here to see a tax incentive program and I see you talk about fear,
Yeah.
I can switch my mind to say, I didn't know.
Okay.
I need this fear. Okay?
Right.
And remember, this is this template will fit everywhere. Which means the template, as you cannot articulate it, you cannot fill all the gaps. Some of you may object or don't want to use this particular template. That's right. You want to modify it. I'm showing a template which is, when I used it and my client used it, have been successfully compared to something else they were doing before. This was a time change. This was a moment of change for people to get more customers. And this is what I'm sharing here. So you should be able to figure out 3 things. Then 7.10, 7.2 and 11 and 12 will be the discussions on the what, why, and the 3 challenges. Okay? So this will be where you articulate what are the what. That's right. So 7.10. You talk about 1, that's right, which is what we had in the agenda, so you can explain what are the whats. It's supposed to be 12, but there's a typo here. The second 11 will be number 2, which is why, which is on page 8, and then 12 will talk about the challenges. And I had this in several Facebook groups, and I want to ask this question. The question is, what are the challenges? And let's talk about the 3 challenges for now. This area of the presentation, it may cost you between $100,000 to $500,000 to be able to reveal it in front of you. This is how people sell big numbers. Because people need to shift their mind. What are the challenges? The challenges to what? What the title of our presentation was?
5 barriers to grow your business.
And what are the challenges here? The challenges for what?
Growing your business.
No, sir. The challenges are the challenges for people, how they will grow their business, by the way, by joining your program.
Yeah.
So the challenges has to be positioned how people will not join your program. So when I say the 5 challenges to grow a business, what are the challenges? Is what people don't know about your program. They don't take actions for your program. They don't take actions of your program. So when you talk about barriers and the challenges, you mean it in the title to grow their business, but here you position it in what?
In terms of how you can sell them.
Yes. Because what do you need? You need people to sign up in your program to take value, because I believe you have a program which takes sad faces to happy faces. And if you believe in that, what the barrier for you is to grow your message around and to get more people to sign up for your program. That's why when we talk about challenges and barriers and difficulties, these are fixed stuff already. I can do them. What I will show you today is what you can do, but you never articulate this outside this room, because what you will say is different. But this is a template. So what is the top challenge for people to sign up to your program? So we talk about 3.
People don't know your program.
You talked about 3. So if you want a number in front of audience, you start by number 3, challenge, number 2, challenge, and number 1, challenge. So this is how you order. When you stand and talk to people, you don't go 1, 2, 3. Because if you start with 1, 2, I don't know where you'll finish. And I want to go pick up my kid. I will just do that. I will disconnect you, okay? So usually when you stand in a presentation, to know the professional presenters, they usually start reverse chronological order. So now I'm talking 3. So how many I left? 2. Now I'm in 5. How many I left? 4. If you are bored, I will listen. There are 4 more to go, and I will run. Doesn't matter. But if you start with 1, 2, when he will finish? So what is the top challenge for people to sign up to your program?
Credibility.
No.
You are not known yet.
No.
Time.
No.
Money. You don't have internet connection. That's the only one left, you know.
It's you.
Me in which sense?
I am the speaker. You are the audience. So I'm offering you an irresistible offer of signing to my exchange management program. Okay. What is the if I am in front of my ideal audience, or the ideal audience to sell them this program, what is the block between them and the coming to your program? Is themselves. They are the one who don't want to come to this decision. That's right. So the top challenge of anybody signing to a program is you, which basically is the audience.
Yeah, but why? There should be an internal obstacle.
No. There is no obstacle. That's their desire. I will show you how to overcome these obstacles.
Okay.
The question will be is what is the top challenge? What is the number 2 or 3 challenges?
One is people don't know your program.
Okay, so people don't know. This is a good challenge. That's right. So people don't know. Don't know what?
They don't know what they don't know.
Beautiful. So they don't know what they don't know is actually number 5 challenge.
That don't know what they don't know is number 5, sir?
Yes.
Maybe they don't know about the program itself.
They don't know about the program, or they will select the wrong program.
Maybe, yeah. So there is
So-
a full marketing behind the program.
So they do the wrong stuff is challenge number 3.
Okay. Maybe sometimes there are defects in the program design. No?
No. So what are the other challenges for people? And I'm challenging you to come up with, because I go out on public forums and people claim they sell from the stage and say, what is the number 1 challenge for you not to get more clients? Fear was the highest feedback. People have fear. People don't feel comfort. People that don't want to move. This is not the challenge. The top challenge for anybody to sign is them to pick up the pen and put their credit card and sign. Full stop.
Maybe they are not convinced enough with the product.
If they are not convinced with the product, is your problem at the stage that you did not convince them of your program.
They're not feeling their pain enough.
It's your issue at the stage that you have to highlight to them and make them feel the pain. So what is the number 2 challenge, or what is the other? We are missing.
No, we're still in number 1. We didn't know what's number 1 challenge.
It's you.
Me as what? As a speaker, as a presenter,
You as audience.
as what? Yeah, but in which sense again?
I will show you.
Oh,
I will show you. What is the number 4 and what is the number 2 challenge?
So number 5 is you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
maybe the product itself. It's not. Oh, but I said this. You said no. I said the program design or the product design. It doesn't fit them. No.
Is your product applicable?
Nope. Number 2, you don't take action on time.
You as a presenter, you mean?
You as audience,
As audience.
you don't take action on time. So if I present you, which I'm not doing it because this is a workshop, I have, like, if somebody from you wants to join my program, I'm more than happy to discuss it, but I'm here really to provide you with this knowledge, because this is what changed my life and changed my client's life as well. So I'm not trying to sell you, I'm just trying to show you the back end of what you are sold with Big Potential, with Landmark, with any of these big forums, with Tony Robbins, everybody using these techniques. This is what works in the market. The top challenge for people, they don't know what they don't know. So they don't know stress. They don't know stress is the number 1 issue in their business success. And from here, they don't know that change management, successful change management, is number 1 issue in business continuation. That's right, sir? Mm-hmm. They don't know that. Some of them even they don't know that there's something called change management consultants. That's right. Mm-hmm. Number 3, they do the wrong stuff. When they wake up, they do the wrong things. I didn't talk before yet. Okay.
He's going all over the place here. He's using a different base.
I want you to remember it, not to write it. If it's very important.
4, 2.
So, and number 2 is, even if I show you an offer right now, if I give you something to change your life, you will not take actions, because people are feeling comfort where they are. And number 1 is you. So,
What's number 4?
4 is feeling comfortable.
no. Guys, you have to stop because I have to remember it, okay?
Let's do with suspense or something.
Must be suspense.
No.
I've written it down somewhere, I'm sure.
You know the answer, so figure it out.
I might have it down. Don't know what to do.
That's number 4.
I believe so.
Yes.
You don't know what to do.
Yes.
You're stuck.
So I'm stuck. So you don't know what you don't know, so you don't know you have a problem, which I can solve. And even if you know that you have a problem now, you don't know what to do. And if you know what to do, majority of the time you end up doing the wrong stuff by listening to the wrong people and surrounding yourself by the wrong people. And when you know that you are doing the wrong stuff and ask you to change, you don't take actions on time to change. So who is the fundamental problem of your life? You are the one standing in the blockage. And I do have now an offer for you. Are you ready to sign? Or you need to know more? Do you understand this sequence? Let's just play it professionally, okay? So when we talk about the 5 challenges,
Well, you're still speaking in the context of the selling from stage.
yes. When you talk about the 5 challenges, I say people don't know what they don't know. And I should tag this one with a testimonial. So people don't know what they don't know. And I do have a client, so and so, she didn't know what she didn't know, because people usually don't know And when she came to one of these events, she signed up for my program after the presentation, and she was achieved 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a happy outcome. Challenge number 4, you don't know what to, people usually don't know what to do with their business. I don't tell them you don't know what to do, okay? I say people don't know what to do about their business. And there are so many struggling around here and people don't know. And in this event, I met so and so, they were struggling, they were actually considering to shut down the business right now because they don't know, they keep losing money. If anybody here, who is here losing money in their business right now? People will raise their hands, that's right?
Do you think they would?
Oh yeah?
Really?
If you have a heart connection, they will.
Well, if you're-
Even here, when I'm showing you the observation,
As long
people
as-
start interact with me and raise their hands.
As long as there are no other business coaches in the audience, I can ask that question.
No, even if you have business coaches. And when you try to get the competitor coaches,
I totally
is
agree.
in the wrong stuff. Because when when they try to change, they always listen to their friends and families. They always listen to the losers like you. Do you agree you are a loser? You don't have money. People are always listening to the losers like them. People are surrounding themselves with the losers. So losers leading the
How
losers.
many of you are
Blind,
losers?
blind leading the blind.
Blind leading the blind.
And some of us will believe we have coaches, which is great. However, a soccer team will need 7 coaches. There's a goalkeeping coach, there's a fitness coach, a nutrition coach, a strategy coach. That's right, there's at least 7 coaches. In tennis or individual games in the competitive level, you need at least 3 to 4 coaches, that's right? It's not only one coach. So if you believe for your business you need just 1 coach, you are very damn wrong. We don't comfort our clients with saying wrong, right? But people who believe, so when you try to get into say, you want to confront them, you don't confront them. Say, business owners when they believe they need only 1 coach and this is enough, they are wrong because the business has 7 or 8 different facets, and each one of these sides will have one expert. You can be expert in 1, 2, 3, but you cannot be expert in everything. I'm very bad in bookkeeping. I don't like it. I built all of my business and I always hand it to somebody. I understand accounting very well, by the way, and I run my own businesses, but I don't like it. I am not the best coach for you for that. I love to do the product design, I love to do the marketing side, I love to do the business production, but there are areas I miss. So what's wrong of working as a team of coaches? Each one can help the business in one aspect. However, this is not valid in the market today. Everybody's trying to eat the client and they don't know when the customer will fail, he will not get money. This is the problem we've seen. So where you want to access or when you want to target the competitor, you talk about the wrong stuff. And usually the testimonial attached to the wrong stuff will be what? Someone switch from another program to your program or your service. And I know some of you will sell products. So somebody bought, we're considering an Otis solution as they came to your elevator. Some of you will do service. Some of you will sell just products. So it doesn't matter what you are, but this is the layout or the structure of how people will resonate. That's as we know from the science of communication. Now, you need here 4 testimonials only. Testimonial here, testimonial here, testimonial here, and testimonial here. Who is the top challenge?
You.
And what's your role after you become my client? To provide me with a future testimonial. So I cannot give you a testimonial on you, but I can get an agreement. Do you agree that you are the blockage of successful business? That's right, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Does it make sense? If you want to deal with this, because some of people I'm working with, they deliver to ATB and big organizations. So the you will not be you, will be the management, the upper management who doesn't want to make a decision to get me as a consultant. Okay? So here, this is the, I call it the naked truth. Here is the naked framework. It has to be you as audience. Audience is individual, will be individual. Audience is an organization, it will be the management in the organization who denies or who does not want me to provide a quote. or does not want to do a direct contracting. They want to get me through a bid process. I use these sequences in selling hard products, like hundreds of thousands of dollars product to oil companies. And you means the audience. Don't take actions on time, so don't tell me come in a year. Don't tell me I'm not ready now. Sign up to the program, and then we can figure out a delay, but don't get me later position. You're doing the wrong stuff, you have to stop what you do right now. Because you are here. You don't, like, in one of the real estate investment programs, people will go and say, you are here because you cannot achieve the amount of money you want to get from your investment. Do you agree? People will say yes. We want to get more. So does this mean you agree that what you do right now is wrong? People have to agree as well, that's right? You agreed on the first one. Why you will not agree on the second one? Does this make sense? Any discussions? And this is money. This particular part is real money. This is the real core of what we do. So for professional speakers, selling from the stages is like a script. The challenges are always known. Now, before we can conclude this one, and then I will show a couple of things. After you're done with this, do you have any questions here? After you're done with this, what you will do? Now we are done. So you need to review. So you say, today we learned about. And you re-itemize the learning. Because remember, in adult learning, you have to remind them with what they learned. And we like to test stuff, like when you have, like in Vegas or Florida, when you do have lots of audience, you have lots of events, we like to test stuff like. So sometimes actually we put some wrongs, like different learning here. And we say, okay, who's agree here on this learning? And you'll be shocked. 60-70% of the room will raise their hand. Guys, this is not what we talk about. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In other learning, people don't have a long time to remember. And then after that, you come to the area which we don't feel comfort with. So now the question will be is, do you want to learn more? What people will say.
Sorry, if you go back to 713, we're actually recapping.
Yeah, so 713 is recapping what you learn about, which exactly a copy of 709. So you remind them with what the agenda was. And then on 714, you ask the question, did you have a good experience? Did you learn? Do you want to learn more? Usually what people will say. They will say yes. If you had an awesome presentation for like 15, 20 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, whatever it is, do you want to learn more? People usually say yes. So at this point, you will give them your offer. And we'll talk about the offer in a different module, which is within this presentation. Okay? Any feedback?
So the challenges are going in at 7:10 to 7:13, 7:12?
Yes.
So Rael, if you only have 15 minutes, then you have the 3 nuggets to start off with.
You can do 1 or 2 nuggets.
Yeah, okay.
You have the stories. You can do it 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it short. But I want to address here one thing. Ned said, or he asked that this is selling from the stage. This is not selling from the stage. This is everything. The difference is this offer will be different. If you want to learn more, text me on this or send me an email. I didn't want to just stop the discussion and try to argue, okay? So this is the same thing. One more advice which we recommend to do now is when you talk about when you talk as early here on the info nuggets, okay, I may come and say, and there is this technical report which showed that people on business they have, or whatever report, do you like to have access for it? They will say yes. Please text this number, your email, and I will send you the report. And you have on your back end a texting schemes. And when you say text this number, you say, so whoever here wants the report, please take your phone, turn it on, go to text. Is everybody on the SMS app or not? And type 403-907-097. And then you go in the message and say info or TXN, whatever code you have, and said send. Did everybody send it? People said yes. At this point, you have their connections, their communication. So if you speak to sell, this is one way. If you want to sell from the stage, it doesn't harm you early on to get them to send you the information. Do you get this point? And this will be on page 6. Last line is say, consider collecting phone numbers or emails. Yeah, this is the last line on page 6. The bottom line. Okay?
Phone number. Why would you say phone number?
You collect their phone number through the SM message. Any discussions, any questions?
So, just phone number versus email. What's the benefit?
It's based on phone numbers. I can get them to text their phone numbers from the stage, because I can tell each one of you hold your phone.
Okay, I see.
Turn it on. I know the people said, the organizer said you shouldn't have your phone, but I'm encouraging you to turn on. And you know what? Go follow this Twitter, tweet a message to me, and I will send it to you. If you don't have a text messages. If you have a text message service, you can say text messages, which is about $125 a month or so. If you don't even have a text messages, have another phone number where you can accept text to it, and you manually set and process it. It doesn't matter. I work with people.
Make it easy for them.
Yeah, I work with people who are coming out of welfare support, with other people who can pay $100,000 in my program. So the logic is there, the concept is there. You can afford having the SM messages, is great. You cannot afford it, it doesn't matter. You can have it your own text phone. You care about your phone to be only professional, get a second phone. Get an easy, there is a free phone number you can get for free. That's right. You can have a second phone line for free now on your phone from the voice over IP or one of these apps. Like this something called Call Tone or Call a Tone. It gives you a free phone number. It has text, it has voice, it has everything, voicemail and everything. And it only uses Wi-Fi. So it doesn't matter the way. Make it within your means. I'm not asking you to buy Infusionsoft or Mailchimp or text. I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying there is a way you do it, you can do it. Any questions? Or any feedback, any discussions? Does it make sense as a sequence? And believe me, if you work out this sequence and you add your verbiage to it and your vocal to it, you will not be able to visualize the sequence from the back. So a few things to say before we move on to the storytelling part. Few things about this sequence. So this sequence, is it information sequence or selling sequence? In this sequence, you have only the offer here. And the offer will be about 10% of the time. So everybody will look at you offering information. However, for honesty and dignity, you have to understand that this sequence is 10% information and 90% selling. Unfortunately. And the 10% information are around the title only.
Can you say that part again?
This sequence is information product sequence. It can be done in a webinar, seminar. At the outskirt, if I look from outside inside, it will be 90% I'm providing information. I'm providing information about change management. I'm providing information about business and stress. However, it's complete opposite from inside out. And I like to be honest. Like, I don't mind positioning anything, but between us, we have to be understanding exactly what we are doing. Here, who is the story? Is your story. You craft it to sell. So your story is part of the selling. What are challenges you have? Whose testimonial you use? Your client. That's right.
Yeah.
And your customer. Position it to sell. That's right. So everything in the back is for selling. And this is why, and this how this is the truth about this business. Everything in the back is for selling. In Canada we do soft selling. In US we do hard selling. We were in event in the US and the guy will say, who here has $2,000 in his credit card? People will stand up. Who is here have $600 in their business card? Is their credit card? More people will stand up because usually people will be challenged, feeling bad. Oh, whoever stand here, come behind me to sign up for the program. And for the rest, I'm coming to give the presentation. That's it.
Can you repeat again what you mean? What do you mean in Canada we do soft selling and
in Canada we do more information selling. We spend more time with our people. In the US, you have to be hard selling. This is the culture. So the techniques I'm showing here are Canadian news only. If you are going to Vegas or Florida and you have like $2,000-3,000 in an association event, talk to me. I can show you a few tricks how you be comparable to everybody else. One big challenge we've seen as Win Your Brand is many of us will come and say, and even you said, sir, in the morning, you said, oh, this is the way I do it. Okay, if this is the way you do it, well, and you are happy with what you do, is great, do it. This is the way professionals are doing it. And we as an audience coming out to professional, I always compare, should I pay this guy $10,000 or not? If he is not professional enough, should I pay him? If he did not invest and sounds a little bit salesy to me, will I pay him or not? So there are some decisions you have to make in how to shift your presentation. Any more questions? Does this satisfy your the questions? Yes, sir.
Question: what is the one main difference, without going into details, between selling on the stage in Canada and selling on the stage in the US? What's the major kind of shift that you have to make?
In the US, they don't have enough time to listen to 5 challenges, and you need to be more aggressive because these people, you need to be more aggressive in showing how the results will be quickly coming, and you need to be in the right price point. Sometimes we lose business because we are too cheap than the competitor. Like anybody will take this knowledge and stand in front of clients, he can close $10,000 to $100,000 deals. But sometimes because we price ourselves as lower, then people are not convinced. Any questions? So part of this course, what you should do is you should pick up one topic. You should have fill up this form for it. And we can talk a little bit about what are these graphs on the top as well. And then in the offer, I will talk about few things as well. And then you should draft it and you should be able to present it in front of who? In front of people who understand this sequence, not in front of your friends, business owners who are not here, colleagues who are not here. Because the people who understand this sequence, they are the one who can tell you, you know, your story here, can you make it in a different way? Oh, you know, this info nuggets is not really an info nuggets. If anybody does not experience this field, you are giving presentation in front of the wrong audience. And all what they will say, wow, you are great. So yeah, because my wife will say I'm great in everything I'm doing. Yes.
Mine doesn't.
Okay. So if you have no questions, we can move to module 8 because this is when we start to talk about stories. Yeah, so here we want to talk about structure of stories. And stories, there's one style which I love to have, which is the style of Tony Robbins, because Tony Robbins, when he tells you a story, he will tell you what? At the beginning of every story. Why he is telling you the story. So standing in front of audience and tell them story, it doesn't worth penny. When I tell you why I am telling you this story,
Context.
you have to articulate it. Remember, your audience is what? Is I, is one in Greek, which stands for ignorant. If you watch the advertisement, and my MBA is in advertising, so it's very relevant to what I'm doing. There is an ad on CNN. The ad will come and say, this particular medicine will give you 6 benefits. Aleve or whatever it is will give you 1 benefit. And the 6 is more than 1. What the heck? You have 30 seconds advertisement, and you say 6 is more than 1, which is another 3 to 4 seconds. Why? Because the master of advertising understands when you sit in your home, you have no brain to understand that 6 is more than 1. So you have to be able to articulate to your audience why you are telling them the story.
Yeah, but that's for the US audience, man.
And for the Canadian too.
I'm just saying.
We're way smarter.
Yeah, we wouldn't vote for Trump. I'm just saying.
For your audience, you have to, and you yourself, you have to position why you are telling a story. So remember, when we talked about at the very beginning, you have a hook, and this hook should have a story. Then you have info nugget 1, info nugget 2, info nugget 3. Each one of these will have a story. And here you have your title, your personal story, which is there is a special section for, and then you have the table of contents, or what are we learning today, 3, 2, 1, and the challenges. And each one of the challenges will have a testimonial. So you need, in 5 challenges, you need 8 stories. In 3 challenges, you need 6 stories. One of them is your personal story. Will your personal story change?
No.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Nice try though.
Yes, it does. So
Which
how?
aspect of the personal story you relate changes?
Yes, because if I stand in front of project management people, I have to make it relevant to them.
Well, of course, but you are who you are, right?
But I will show you inside your personal stories. There are little areas where it will
You can
change.
focus things, sure.
Okay. So we here in the market, people will say, know your audience and be relevant. Where will I know my audience and be relevant? Inside the stories. Do you agree? So when I stand in front of audience and I know I'm in the association of banking, all my stories will be on what? Bankers, banking employees, or banking clients. Full stop. I may get one story by somebody walking in front of the bank, which is okay, banking involves there. But I cannot talk to them about business owners. When I'm showing financial advisors or accountants, I cannot talk about CEOs in my stories. So I will show you a structure for a story which we know it sells very well, but the characters of the story has to be different and relevant to your audience. So you make these discussions relevant by picking the correct stories. You know your audience, they are the bankers. So the testimonial has to come from who? Or people have relationship with the bank, okay? So this testimonial has to be relevant. So I am not showing you a new science. I'm not telling you everybody in the market is crap, they don't know. They say the right things, but they don't show you the blueprint. They tell you know your audience. What I want to know about my audience? Very simple, my friend. I want to know relationship, process, dollars, or time. This is what I need to know about the audience. That's it. I don't need they have anything else. When I want to know my audience, I want to know their triggers. When I want to be relevant to my audience, I have to pick up the stories which is relevant to this audience. Which get me to a second point. You cannot launch a service in an area completely green to you. You have to get people to try out or people to give you testimonials from this area. It's okay to have 1 or 2 testimonials not from the same area in 4, but you must understand the more relevancy you can have with the stories, the more this. So when I stand and present in front of students, all my stories will be around the university time when I was a professor there. When I go to business owners, they may not know that I used to be a former professor in 7 universities teaching electronics. When I go in front of entrepreneurs, they know how I took my lab, made it a company, and how I create all my other companies. But they will not know that I am doing life coaching or something else because it's not relevant to them. And this is here where we talk about the relevancy to the system. Does it make sense? Okay? Now, if you want to understand how you structure a story, so what is a story? What do you want people to know in the story?
Moral, lesson learned.
Nope.
Themes. Experience,
Nope. They need to learn from the story one single thing.
which is pain point.
They have to sign up for your program.
Oh.
That's it. So the story is the stool. How many legs you can stand the stool on?
3.
3. So 3 is the minimum legs for a stool. And I'm a visual guy. I like to remind you, stool is 3 legs, which is pain point, defining moment, happy outcome. Any story must have pain points, must have defining moment, and must have happy outcome. What is pain point? What are the pain points? The pain point, which is similar clients has been, or similar customers have been suffering from, and by joining your program, they become happy outcome. That's right. So this is a sad face which moving to a happy face. Does it make sense? So when you stand telling a story, it's not about storytelling. It's about educating them that people have similar to them, they have similar pain, and guess what? When they decide to join a system, it's not my system anymore, it's just a system. That's right, remember we showed that there is a solution. And you need to care about the defining moment. What is the defining moment? Is what make people change from the pain point to the happy outcome. Here you have to understand that people will resonate better and will go with the journey on a 3D defining moment, not on a regular defining moment. So when you stand here and say, so and so was struggling, and she was sitting on her couch, smelling the aroma of the coffee, listening to the kettle bubbling, bum 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 bum. And then she came and she looked at this flyer and she showed my phone. She seen my phone number, and she made a call. I was driving my car. I got the number I didn't know. I called. I picked up from. All of you are with me, you know. Why, guys, you are with me? Because we will resonate better with what? 3D. You must make your defining moment 3D and 4D, and it has an aroma and it has a screaming. Sometimes speakers will have at the moment and say, and kids were streaming, and the back end will have a screaming sound to connect your audience. So you spend good time on the defining moment. Defining moment is always overlooked. However, in a process of signing up customers, what you need to do? You need to push them over the edge of what?
Resistance.
Over the edge of signing to your program. So you need to give them defining moment. So maybe one of the defining moments is somebody his wife doesn't want him to sign. And when he divorced her, he signed up. Don't say that, okay? But when you met her and convinced both of them, they sign up. Okay, so don't use that. Okay, but you got the point. You got my point. Is this clear? This easy? Any one of you seen this before?
Similar.
So where is the differences?
The main difference is, I mean, I agree with the pain point, but the three defining moment is more, in my practice, is a remedy.
Okay. Okay.
And to the happy moment, right?
But still, you still need to define defining one, because you will face clients who doesn't want to sign. You
Here's what's wrong. Here's how it can be remedied. This is what will make you happy.
But in a story, you talk about someone which is singular.
Yeah, how it was remedied with someone else.
You know, somebody else. And usually this one will be singular. It doesn't matter what kind of people you talk about. This has to be singular.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you talk about you, it's you only, because you are the only one in the room. You not talk about you as plural, that's right? So you here, and you has somebody like you has the pain point. He was struggling with his business. He could not move forward. He doesn't know what to do. And I met them in the meetup in the when is today? Jameson Club? Jameson's. I met them in Jameson's and we had a good chat. We were having a nice beer. You know what? The beer was really cold. And you still, are you now with me on the cold beers, right? And when I talk to them, they join my program and they achieve 1, 2, 3 in 3, 4 months. That's right. When you have this story early on in your presentation, as early as here or here, it reflects what on the audience. Number one, you have a clients and customers. Number two, you have a program to sell, and I will expect to see sales through from the stage. So my offer is not coming as a surprise. I will not just tell information. Say, oh, hey, by the way, at the end of the day, oh, you know what? I have an offer. It doesn't work like that, guys. So this is what we call it seeding the offer early on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't bring it as testimonial because testimonial is so aggressive early on. But you bring it as a story of somebody you know. People who work in grievance in particular, and they're starting grievance, like I work with people in the church looking for hope and stuff like that. So I'm trying to launch their programs and they talk about hope. They volunteer in the church. They have so many stories. So when they stand and say, we help these people, we met them in the church and we do this and we offer them the step-by-step system, we offer them the program, people will understand that at the end there is a program. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is these stories, sometimes you don't have it as your personal experience, but you can actually have it by your surrounding if you just started. Any questions? So if you don't have any questions, in 8.1, you should figure out a story and you should write down why are you telling the story, who are the character of your story, and then 8.3, what are the 1 to 3 pain point of the story, what is the defining moment, make it 3D, and what are the happy outcome.
So, well, give me an example of why are you telling the story. Give me an example of what that means.
What's your info nuggets?
Info nuggets are,
Give me one info nugget. So.
all right.
So I can tell you,
Heart sends more information to the brain than the other way around. My client, when connecting the two, was able to double his income in less than 6 months.
So I can tell you a story to show you how my clients how somebody can double their income in 6 months. Tony Robbins has a story which is very interesting because the story does not relate to anything useful. But he will share with you this story because he wants to show you when you do good things will happen to you. And then he will start to tell a story which is many of us, if following of Tony, will know that. About him going to this particular beach in California. He had no money. He had just only this $10 and he saw this kid who was taking care of his mom very well. So he went to the kid and gave him the $10. The kid didn't like it. And then he convinced him to take the money. And then Tony walked back because he made somebody feeling good. he walked back to his home, or he took a high five or whatever it is, the way he will say it, and then he said, I went to sleep, and you know what, on the second day I got a check from somebody who owed me $1,000, and he always refused, but suddenly I found it. So the story does not stand to what he's actually saying for, but the minute you start to say, I want to tell you a story about when you do good things, these things will happen to you, people will just keep this information. They forget about everything else. Everything will just go, woo. The only thing is I remember they had a story, because when you do good things will happen to you. So adopt this, because these are our era and our time speakers. These are the big names in our life right now. So just adopt from them these techniques. When you tell me a story, I even hear sometimes say, okay, let's just I want to tell you something because I want you to know 1, 2, 3, and then I tell you the story. That's right. I do it all the time now. Because if I don't tell you why I'm telling you, there is a gap. So for each one of the stories, you should have a script, a blueprint like that. Why you are telling the story, which usually, what are the learning point from the story? Because you are not here to tell us simple stories. Maybe I'm telling you a story for you to join my program. Maybe I'm telling you a story to show you that somebody like you can be a better person. Maybe I'm telling you the story for a cancer survival, how to manage. Maybe I'm telling a story for stress. So you have to tell what are the learning from your story. Then, who are the characters of your story? Usually it will be somebody like your customer or like client. So if you stand in front of business owners, your story has to be about business owners. If you stand in front of project management or employees or consultant, your story has to be about employees, a consultant. So you can start with once upon a time, a consultant was walking by the river. He met another consultant. They said hi and they walk away. Thank you. Do you get this point? Then you should articulate some pain points. And the pain point will match what your offer is about. So remember, when we talk about, when you guys were asking me why you need to have pain point of your service, why must buy now, and why no one else is serving, you basically was trying to challenge me on why do we have to come up with 12 different. You need 1, 2, 3, 4 stories. How many pain point you need for each story? 1 to 3. That's right. The mistake we usually do is we have all the pain points in one. No, you have to give a specific. So that's why you need to understand more about your service. So in particular your service, if somebody is struggling with bookkeeping, you need to have a story on bookkeeping. You need to have a story on accounting. And there may be a story on the integration between bookkeeping and accounting, on the integration side, which will be very simple. Someone who did it was one guy, and then they do it with the other guys, and they lost more money, and they could not find the books. And when they got audited, what happened? They cannot find the coherent information, so CRA gives them more penalty. That's right. Mm-hmm. So it's not rocket science if you structure it to your business from this way. Any questions? Can we have a 10 minutes break?
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.